Reproduction in organism. Each and every organism can live only for a certain period of time. The period from birth to the natural death of an organism represents its lifespan. Lifespans of a few organisms are given in figure 1.1. Several other organisms are drawn for which you should find out their lifespan and draw it in the spaces provided. Examine the lifespan of organism represented in the figure 1.1. Isn't it both interesting and intriguing to note that it may be as short as few days or as long as few thousand years? Between these two extremes are the lifespan of the most other living organisms. You may note that lifespans of organisms are not necessarily correlated with their sizes. The sizes of the crows and parrot are not very different, yet their lifespans show a wide differences. Similarly, a mango tree has a much shorter lifespan as compared to a peepal tree. Whatever be the lifespan, death of every individual organism is a certainty. In no individual is immortal except single-celled organism. Why do we say there is no natural death is single-celled organism? Given this reality, have you ever wondered how vast number of plant and animal species have existed on Earth for several thousands of years? There must be some processes in living organism that ensures that continuity. Yes, we are talking about reproduction, something that we take for granted. Reproduction is defined as a biological process in which an organism can give rise to young ones, offspring similar to itself. The offspring grow, mature, and in turn produce new offspring. Thus, there is a cycle of birth, growth, and death. Reproduction enables the continuity of the species generation after generation. You will study later in chapter 5. Principles of inheritance and variation. How genetic variation is created and inherited during reproduction. There is a large diversity in the biological world, and each organism has evolved its own mechanism to multiply and produce offspring. The organism habitat, its internal physiology, and several other factors are collectively responsible for how it reproduces. Based on whether there is a participation of one organism or two in the process of reproduction, it is of two types. When offspring is produced by a single parent with or without the involvement of gamete formation, the reproduction is asexual. When two parents opposite sex participate in the reproductive process and also involve fusion of male and female gamete, it is called sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction. In this method, a single individual parent is capable of producing offspring. As a result, the offspring that are produced are not only identical to one another but are also exact copies of their parent. Are these offspring likely to be genetically identical or different? The term clone is used to describe such morphology and genetically similar individuals. Let us see how widespread asexual reproduction is. Among different groups of organisms, asexual reproduction is common among single-celled organisms and in plant and animals with relatively simple organizations. In protists and monerans, the organism are the parent cell divide by mitosis into two to give rise to new individuals. Figure 1.2. Thus, in these organisms, cell division is itself a mode of reproduction. Many single-celled organisms reproduce by binary fission, where a cell divides into two halves into each rapidly grows into an adult. Example Amoeba paramecium. In East, the division is unequal and small buds are produced that remain attached initially to the parent cell, which eventually get separated and mature into new yeast organism cells. Under unfavorable conditions, the amoeba withdraws its pseudopodia and secretes a three-layered hard covering or cyst around itself. This phenomena is termed as incystation. When favorable conditions return, the encysted amoeba divided by multiple fission and produces many minute amoeba or pseudopodiospores. The cyst wall bursts out and the spores are liberated in the surrounding medium to grow up into many amoebae. The phenomena is known as sporulation. Member of kingdom fungi and simple plants such as algae reproduce through special sexual reproductive structures. Figure 1.3. The most common of these structures are zoospores that usually are microscopic motile structure. Other common asexual reproductive structure are conidia, penicillium, birds, hydra, and gammules sponge. You have learnt about vegetative reproduction in plant in class 11th. What do you think? Is vegetative reproduction also a type of asexual reproduction? Why do you say so? Is the term clone applicable to the offspring formed by vegetative reproduction? While in animals and other simple organisms the term asexual is used unambiguously, in plant the term vegetative reproduction is frequently used. In plants, the unit of vegetative propagation such as runner, rhizome, sucker, tuber, offset, bulb are all capable of giving rise to new offspring. Figure 1.4. These structures are called vegetative propagules. Obviously, since the formation of this structure does not involve two parents, the process involved is asexual in some organisms. If the body breaks into two distinct pieces, fragments, each fragment grows into an adult capable of producing offspring. Example Hydra. This is also a mode of asexual reproduction called fragmentation. You must have heard about the scourge of the water bodies or about the terror of Bengal. This is nothing but the aquatic plant water hyacinth, which is one of the most invasive weeds found growing wherever there is standing water. It drains oxygen from the water, which leads to death of fishes. You will learn more about it in chapter 13 and 14. You may find it interesting to know that this plant was introduced in India because of its beautiful flowers and space of shape of leaves. Since it can propagate vegetatively at a phenomenal rate and spread all over the water body in a short period of time, it is very difficult to get rid of them. Are you aware how plants like potato, sugarcane, banana, ginger, and dahlia are cultivated? Have you seen small plants emerging from the buds called eyes of the potato tubers from the rhizome of banana and ginger? When you carefully try to determine the site of origin of new plantlets in the plants listed above, you will notice that they invariably arise from the nodes present in the modified stems of these plants. When the nodes come in contact with damp soil or water, they produce roots and new plants. Similarly, adventitious buds arise from the notches present in margins of leaf of Bryophyllum. This ability is fully exploited by the gardeners and farmers of commercial propagation of such plant. It is interesting to note that asexual reproduction is the common method of reproduction in organisms that have relatively simple organization like algae and fungi, and that they shift to a sexual method of reproduction just before the onset of adverse condition. Find out how sexual reproduction enables these organisms to survive during unfavorable conditions. Why is sexual reproduction favored under such conditions? Asexual vegetative as well as sexual modes of reproduction are exhibited by the higher plants. On the other hand, only sexual mode of reproduction is present in most of the animal. Sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction involves formation of the male and female gametes either by the same individual formation or by different individuals of the opposite sex. These gametes fuse to form the zygote, which develops to form the new organism. It is an elaborate, complex, and slow process as compared to asexual reproduction. Because of the fusion of male and female gametes, sexual reproduction results in offspring that are not identical to the parent or amongst themselves. A study of diverse organisms, plant, animal, or fungi show that though they differ so greatly in external morphology, internal structure, and physiology, when it comes to sexual mode of reproduction, surprisingly, they have a similar pattern. Let us first discuss that features are common to these diverse organisms. All organisms have to reach a certain stage of growth and maturity in their life before they can reproduce sexually. That period of growth is called the juvenile phase. It is known as vegetative phase in plants. This phase is of variable durations in different organisms. The end of juvenile vegetative phase, which mark the beginning of the reproductive phase, can be seen early in the higher plants when they come to flower. How long does it take for marigold, rice, wheat, coconut, mango plant to come to flower? In some plants where flowering occurs more than once, what would you call the inner flowering period, juvenile or mature? Observe a few trees in your area. Do they flower during the same month year after year? Why do you think the availability of fruit like mango, apple, jackfruit, etc. is seasonal? Are there some plants that flower throughout the year and some other that show seasonal flowering? Plants. The annual and biennial types show clear-cut vegetative, reproductive, and senescent phases, but in the perennial species it is very difficult to clearly define these phases. A few plants exhibit unusual flowering phenomena. Some of them, such as bamboo species, flower only once in their lifetime, generally after 50 to 100 years, produce large number of fruits and die. Another plant, Strobilanthes kunthiana nilakulenji, flower once in 12 years. As many of you would know, that plant flowered during September-October 2006. It means flowering transformed a large tract of hilly areas in Kerala, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu into blue stretches and attracted a large number of tourists. In animals, the juvenile phase is followed by morphological and physiological changes prior to active reproductive behavior. The reproductive phase is also of variable duration in different organisms. Can you list the changes seen in human beings that are indicative of reproductive maturity? Among animals, for example, birds, do they lay egg all through the year, or is it a seasonal phenomena? What about other animals like frogs and lizards? You will notice that birds living in nature lay egg only seasonally. However, birds' incapability as poultry farms can be made to lay eggs throughout the year. In this case, laying egg is not related to reproduction but is a commercial exploitation for human welfare. The female of placental animal exhibited cyclical changes in the activities of ovaries and accessory duct as well as hormones during the reproductive phase. In non-primate animals like cows, sheep, rats, deer, dogs, tiger, etc., such cyclical changes during reproduction are called oestrus cycle, whereas in primates, monkey, apes, and humans it is called menstrual cycle. Many mammals, especially those living in natural Wild condition exhibit such cycles only during favorable season in their reproductive phases and are therefore called seasonal breeders. Many other mammals are reproductively active throughout their reproductive phase and hence are called continuous breeders. That we all grow old if we live long enough is something that we recognize, but what is meant by growing old? The end of reproductive phase can be considered as one of the parameters of senescence or old age. There are concomitant changes in the body like slowing of metabolism, etc. During this phase, last phase of lifespan, old age ultimately lead to death. In both plants and animals, hormones are responsible for the transitions between the three phases. The interaction between hormones and certain environmental factors regulate the reproductive processes and associated behavioral expression of organism. Events in sexual reproduction. After attainment of maturity, all sexually reproducing organisms exhibit events and processes that have remarkable fundamental similarity, even though the structure associated with sexual reproduction are indeed very different. The events of sexual reproduction, though elaborate and complex, follow a regular sequence. Sexual reproduction is characterized by the fusion or fertilization of the male and female gametes. The formation of zygote and embryogenesis. For convenient, this sequential event may be grouped into three distinct stages, namely the pre-fertilization, fertilization, and the post-fertilization event. Pre-fertilization event, these include all the event of sexual reproduction prior to the fusion of gametes. The main pre-fertilization events are two: gametogenesis and gamete transfer. Gametogenesis. As you are already aware, gametogenesis refers to the process of formation of the two types of gametes, male and female. Gametes are haploid cell. In some algae, the two gametes are so similar in appearance that it is not possible to categorize them into male and female gametes. They are hence called homogametes, isogametes, figure 1.5a. However, in majority of sexually reproducing organisms, the gamete produced are of two morphologically distinct type heterogamete. In such animal, the male gamete is called anthrazoid or sperm and the female gamete is called egg or ovum, figure 1.5bc. Sexuality in organism. Sexual reproduction in organisms generally involve the fusion of gametes from two different individuals, but this is not always true. From your recollection of example studied in class 11th, can you identify cases where self-fertilization is observed of course? Citing such example is plant is easy. Plant may have both male and female reproductive structure in the same plant, bisexual, figure 1.6ce, or on different plant, unisexual, figure 1.6d. In several fungi and plant terms such as homothallic and monoecious are used to denote the bisexual condition, and heterothallic and dioecious are the terms used to describe unisexual condition. In flowering plant, the unisexual male flower is staminate, i.e. bearing stamens, while the female is pistillate or bearing pistils. In some flowering plant, both male and female flowers may be present on the same individual, monoecious, or on separate individuals, dioecious. Some examples of monoecious plant are cucurbits and coconut, and of dioecious plant are papaya and date palm. Name the type of gametes that are formed in staminate and pistillate flower. But what about animal are individual of all species, either male or female, unisexual, or are the species which possesses both the reproductive organ bisexual? You probably can make a list of several unisexual animal species. Earthworm figure 1.6 is sponge, tapeworm, and leech. Typical examples are bisexual animals that possesses both male and female reproductive organs. Are hermaphrodites. Cockroach figure 1.6b is an example of a unisexual species. Cell division during gamete formation. Gamete in all heterogametic species are of two types, namely male and female. Gametes are haploid through the parent plant body from which they arise may be either haploid or diploid. A haploid parent produces gamete by mitosis division. This means that meiosis never occurs in organisms that are haploid. Carefully examine the flow charts of life cycle of algae that you have studied in class 11 chapter 3 to get a suitable answer. Several organisms belonging to Monera, fungi, algae, and bryophytes have haploid plant body, but in organisms belonging to pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms, and most of the animals, including human being, the parental body is diploid. It is obvious that meiosis, the reproduction division, has to occur if a diploid body has to produce haploid gametes. In diploid organism, species cell called myocytes gamete mother cell undergo meiosis. At the end of meiosis, only one set of chromosomes get incorporated into each gamete. Carefully study table 1.1 and fill in the diploid and haploid chromosome number of organism. Is there any relationship in the number of chromosomes of myocyte and gametes? Gamete transfer. After their formation, male and female gametes must be physically brought together to facilitate fusion fertilization. Have you ever wondered how the gametes meet? In a majority of organisms, male gamete is motile and the female gamete is stationary. Exceptions are a few fungi and algae. In both type of gametes are motile, figure 1.7a. There is a need for medium through which the male gametes move in a several simple plant like algae, bryophytes and pteridophytes. Water is the medium through which this gamete transfer takes place. A large number of the male gametes, however, fail to reach the female gametes. To compensate this loss of male gametes during transport, the number of male gametes produced is several thousands times the number of female gametes produced. In seed plants, pollen grains are the carriers of male gametes and ovule have the egg. Pollen grains produced in anthers therefore have to be transferred to the stigma before it can lead to fertilization, figure 1.7b. In bisexual self-fertilization plants, example peach, transfer of pollen grains to the stigma is relatively easy as anthers and stigma are located close to each other. Pollen grains soon after they are shed come in contact with the stigma, but in cross-pollination plants including dioecious plants, a specialized event called pollination facilitates transfer of pollen grains to the stigma. Pollen grains germinate on the stigma and the pollen tubes carrying the male gametes reach the ovule and discharge male gametes near the egg. In dioecious animals, since male and female gametes are found in different individuals, the organism must evolve a special mechanism for gamete transfer. Successful transfer and coming together of gametes is essential for the most critical event in sexual reproduction, the fertilization. Fertilization, the most vital event of sexual reproduction, is perhaps the fusion of gametes. This process, called syngamy, results in the formation of diploid zygote. The term fertilization is also often used for this process. The terms syngamy and fertilization are frequently used though interchangeably. What would happen if a syngamy does not occur? However, it has to be mentioned here that in some organisms like rotifers, honeybees, and even some lizard and birds, Turkey, the female gametes undergo development to form new organisms without fertilization. This phenomenon is called parthenogenesis, where the syngamy occur. In most aquatic organisms, such as a majority of algae and fishes, as well as amphibians, syngamy occurs in the external medium water, i.e., outside the body of the organism. This type of gametic fusion is called external fertilization. Organisms exciting external fertilization so great synchrony between the sexes and release a large number of gametes into the surrounding medium water in order to enhance the changes of syngamy. This happens in the bony fishes and frogs where a large number of offspring are produced. A major disadvantage is that the offspring are extremely vulnerable to predators, threatening their survival up to the adulthood. In many terrestrial organisms belonging to fungi, higher animals such as reptiles, birds, mammals, and in a majority of plants, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms, syngamy occurs inside the body of organism. Hence, the process is called internal fertilization. In all these organisms, egg is formed inside the female body where they fuse with the male gametes. In organism exciting external fertilization, the male gamete is motile and has to reach the egg in order to fuse with it. In this event, though the number of sperms produced is very large, there is a significant reduction in the number of eggs produced. In seed plant, however, the non-motile male gametes are carried to female gamete by pollen tube. Post-fertilization event in sexual reproduction after the formation of zygote are called post-fertilization event. The zygote formation of diploid zygote is universal in all sexually reproducing organisms. In organisms with internal fertilization, zygote is formed in the external medium, usually water, whereas in those exciting internal fertilization, zygote is formed inside the body of the organism. Further development of the zygote depends on the type of life cycle the organism has and the environment it is exposed to. In organisms belonging to fungi and algae, zygote develop a thick wall that is resistant to desiccation and damage. It undergoes a period of rest before germination. In organisms with haplontic life cycle, as you have read in class 11, zygote divides by meiosis to form haploid spores that grow into haploid individuals. Consult your class 11 book and find out what kind of development takes place in the zygote in organisms with diplontic and haplodiplontic life cycle. Zygote is the vital link that ensures continuity of species between organisms of one generation and the next. Every sexually reproducing organism, including human, being begin life as a single cell, the zygote. Embryogenesis. Embryogenesis refers to the process of development of embryo from the zygote. During embryogenesis, zygote undergoes cell division, mitosis, and cell differentiation. While cell division increases the number of cells in the developing embryo, cell differentiation helps groups of cells to undergo certain modifications to form specialized tissue and the organ to form an organism. You have studied after the process of cell division and differentiation in the previous class. Animals are categorized into oviparous and viviparous based on whether the development of the zygote takes place outside the body of the female parent or inside, i.e., whether they lay fertilized, unfertilized egg or give birth to young ones. In oviparous animals like reptiles and birds, the fertilized egg covered by hard calcareous cells are laid in the safe place in the environment. After a period of incubation, young ones hatches out. On the other hand, in viviparous animal, majority of mammals, including human being, the zygote develops into a young one inside the body of the female organism. After attaining a certain stage of growth, the young ones are delivered out of the body of the female organism. Because of proper embryonic care and protection, the chances of survival of young ones is greater in viviparous organism. In flowering plant, the zygote is formed inside the ovule. After fertilization, the sepal, petal, and stamens of the flower wither the fall off. Can you name a plant in which the sepals remain attached? The pistil, however, remain attached to the plant. The zygote develops into the fruit, which develop a thick wall seed. The ovary develops into the fruit, which develops a thick wall called pericarp. That is protective in function. Figure 1.8. After dispersal, seeds germinate under unfavorable favorable conditions to produce new plant. Summary. Reproductions enable species to live generation after generation. Reproduction in organisms can be broadly classified into asexual and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction does not involve the fusion of gamete. It is common in organisms that have relatively simple organizations such as in the fungi, algae and some invertebrate animals. The offspring found by asexual reproduction are identical and can be referred to as the clone. Zoospore, etc. are the most common asexual structure formed in several algae and fungi. Budding and gamete formation are the common asexual method seen in lower animals. Prokaryotes and unicellular organisms reproduce asexually by cell division or binary fission of the parent cell. In several aquatic and terrestrial species of angiosperms, structures such as runners, rhizomes, suckers, tubes, offsets, etc. are capable of giving rise to new offspring. This method of asexual reproduction is generally referred to as vegetative propagation. Sexual reproduction involves the formation of fusion of gametes. It is a complex and slower process as compared to asexual reproduction. Most of the higher animals reproduce almost entirely by sexual method. Event of sexual reproduction may be categorized into pre-fertilization, fertilization, and post-fertilization event. Pre-fertilization event include gametogenesis and gamete transfer, while post-fertilization events include the formation of zygote and embryogenesis. Organisms may be bisexual or unisexual. Sexuality in plant is varied, particularly in angiosperms, due to the production of diverse type of flower. Plants are defined as monoecious and dioecious. Flowers may be bisexual or unisexual flowers. Gametes are applied in nature and usually a direct product of meiotic division, except in haploid organisms where gametes are formed mitosis. Transfer of male gamete is an essential event in sexual reproduction. It is relatively easy in bisexual organisms. In unisexual animals, it occurs by copulation or simultaneous release. The angiosperm species process called pollination ensures transfer of pollen grains, which carry the pollen grains to the stigma. Syngamy. Fertilization occurs between the male and female gametes. Syngamy may occur either externally outside the body of organism or internally inside the body. Syngamy lead to the formation of a specialized cell called zygote. The process of development of embryo from the zygote is called embryogenesis. In animals, the zygote starts developing soon after its formation. Animals may be either oviparous or viviparous. Embryonal protection and care are better in viviparous organisms. In flowering plants, after fertilization, ovary develop into fruit and ovules mature into seeds inside the matured seed. हाँ, thank you.